Hey, what's up guys? This is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Relinquished deck profile. Now, I actually updated this because we actually got some interesting cards to put in this deck now. It's actually really cool and really stun-based, and it's a really amazing deck. With the Kaiju's, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber coming to 3 now, this deck is really insane, being able to just summon Relinquish, or Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, give yourself a Kaiju, give your opponent a Kaiju, summon Relinquish, gobble up your opponent's monster, and OTK very easily in this deck. So without further ado, let's get straight on to this deck profile, and I'll show you guys what I'm playing. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the most amazing card in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, in my opinion, and my first card ever, actually, Relinquished. For those of you who don't know, Relinquished actually was my very first card, and that's why I absolutely love this deck so much, is because it's just such an amazing card. I love the artwork of it. It's just crazy. And its effect basically is that, and I'm not going to go through that whole line of text, because it was when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like, oh my god, all that lines. Basically what it does is you can gobble up any monster your opponent controls, and then after you do, you equip it to it, and after you equip it to that monster, Relinquish gains attack and defense equal to that monster's attack and defense. You can only have 1 equipped monster on it, and if it's going to be destroyed by battle, you destroy the monster equipped to it instead, which is pretty cool. And you can use its effect once per turn. So then we play 1 copy of Illusionist Faceless Mage. We just play this as a 1-up because if a face-up Eyes Restrict monster or fusion monster that Relinquished you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon it from your grave or your hand, which is really cool. And if this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can target 1 Eyes Restrict fusion monster Relinquished in your graveyard and special summon it, which is really awesome. And I play 1 copy of Armageddon Knight to actually send that card to graveyard, just to have a little bit more utility. Then I play 3 copies of Manju of the 10,000 Hands. We play 3 copies of Manju because if we we can add either Relinquish to our hand or a copy of the ritual spell to summon it, which is the Black Illusion Ritual. Summon it out. So then we play, for the next 3 cards, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Predaplant Orthoscorpio and 1 copy of Darling Cobra. Darling Cobra and Orthoscorpio let me search out from my deck my copies of Relinquished Fusion because it's a normal spell, and it just lets me special summon or add a fusion spell or a polymerization from my deck to my hand. So my targets for that are either Relinquished Fusion or the card that I just added into the deck, Super Polymerization, because it's a polymerization spell card. And it lets me search Instant Fusion as well, which is really cool because it's a fusion spell card, which is awesome, being able to search any of those 3 cards off of our Darling Cobra. So very easy to link away as well, and be able to do what we need to do with those abilities. So the next card that we play at 3, we play a lot of 3-ofs in this deck, is 3 copies of Millennium-eyes Illusionist. So this card is really amazing, and this card made the deck really busted. Quick effect, you can discard it from your hand to target an effect monster your opponent controls and equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquish you control, as if it were equipped to that monster by its own effect. And if an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquish is special summoned, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a reoccurring basically interruption for your opponent that you just keep activating this and then tagging your Relinquish with monsters, which is really cool. Now, Relinquish can only have 1 monster on it at a time, but Millennium-eyes Illusionist can equip multiple monsters to Millennium-eyes Restrict. And Millennium-eyes Restrict can get really big, really fast as well. Then we play 2 copies of Kinkaboyo. When it's normal summon, you can special summon a level 1 monster from your graveyard. But when this card leaves the field, that monster leaves the field as well. And it's a spirit monster, so it returns itself to the hand. It's a good 2-of in the deck because you can normal summon it, special summon a appropriately summoned Relinquished, and then steal a monster from your opponent, which is, it's not that hard, but it's not that big of a deal if it gets banished or anything off of its effect, because you're just going to summon it back multiple times. So it's a good 2-of. I probably wouldn't play it as more than 2, and it's a good card just to summon and be able to link away your Relinquished and your Kinkaboyo to summon something really big. The next card that I play is the Kaiju package, which is 1 copy of Thunder King, because it's really big, and I usually give my opponent this to gobble up with Relinquished. 1 copy of Raiden, the multi-dimensional kaiju. 1 copy of Gendarla, the Mystery Dust. 1 copy of Kamungus, and 1 copy of Gamma Seal. I played the 5 kaijus in this deck because it can really help me out just to play the 5. And really easy to beat over. The only thing, you can play any 5 kaijus you want. You can play Dolgaran if you want to by dropping, like, I don't know, Gendala. You can probably drop Gendala to summon Dolgaran instead. But I like playing the 5 that I had. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So you want to play all those kaijus, by the way, because it's really easy to activate Interrupted Kaiju Slumber now and be able to search them and be able to give your opponent a kaiju and just gobble it up with Relinquished. So then I play Super Polymerization as a one-of. Super Polymerization is just a really good one-of in this deck because it lets you fusion summon into your Relinquished monsters, and it lets you special summon into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which is a little tech card that I play in the extra deck just by using 2 dark monsters. So if your opponent's playing dark and you're playing dark, you can fusion summon into that. 3 copies of Relinquished Fusion. This card is really interesting. You can fusion summon an Eyes Restrict monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your hand, field, or grave. And then during your main phase, you can banish the card from your graveyard to target an effect monster your opponent controls and equip that target to an Eyes Restrict Fusion monster or a Relinquished you control as if it were equipped by its own effect, which is really amazing and really easy to summon millennium-eyes Restrict. We don't make Thousand Eyes Restrict as much because I don't want to play the dead one of Thousand Eyes Idol. I wish they do a retrained version of that. 3 copies of Instant Fusion to special summon out Thousand Eyes Restrict. I usually just summon that out off of this. Sometimes I summon Millennium-eyes Restrict off of this. It just depends. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness because I want to be able to draw cards. And hello, I need to draw some cards. 3 copies of Black Illusion Ritual. You need to play the 3 copies of it because you want to be able to summon off your Relinquished really easily. 3 copies of Pre-Prep of Rites. I think anybody who's playing 2 of these is crazy in this deck. I think you need to play 3 because you want to be able to search your Relinquished extremely easily off of it. And then 3 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber because you just want to be able to pop your opponent's stuff really, really fast. I don't play Preparation of Rites because I don't feel like you need it because you're going to summon it off your Relinquished like 1 or 2 times and win the game anyways. So it's not really necessary to me. I feel like this is the perfect lineup. And that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. Now, the really cool thing is I actually work on a Pegasus impression when I do play with this deck. Like, I summon Relinquished. Yugi boy, it looks like I'm going to steal your Dark Magician again. I know. Cringeworthy, right? I love Relinquished. I don't know if you can tell. I really want to cosplay as Pegasus at one of these cons that I go to. Because I go to Comic-Con and AWA, where I live, in Alabama. So I need to cosplay him and play this deck. So then you play 3 copies of Millennium-eyes Illusionist. Can I get a like and a subscribe for that impression? Like, I think that was pretty good. So Millennium-eyes Restrict. You fusion summon 1 Relinquished and 1 effect monster to summon this. So it's any effect monster. That's why it's really cool to play Super Poly in this deck, because you can activate Super Polymerization and fusion one of your opponent's monsters to summon this in a Relinquished you control. Even if it's special summon when Kikaboya, which is really cool. Then once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster's effect, quick effect, you can target the effect monster, and then if you do, that they control, or in their grave. So if they hand trap you, you can chain this, and then steal the monster and equip it to this, which is amazing. And then equip it to this card, and this card gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of the opponent's monster, and then monsters with that name cannot attack, and also they cannot activate their effects at all. Their effects are negated. So, like, for instance, let's say your opponent Ash Blossoms you, you activate this as a chain reaction to it. You can actually, that's why I don't play Called by the Grave in here, because this card is better. You can actually chain this, and then steal it, and then they can't activate Ash Blossom as long as this has Ash Blossom equipped to it, which is just really nuts. 2 copies of Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict is just kind of like a dumbed down version of it. You can steal monster your opponent control, and then as long as this card remains face on the field, other monsters cannot change their battle position or attack. So this is like the one of, like, you summon it, and that's it. Like, you hope you win with this. Or you link it away with Link Rebo. Usually I'll instant fusion this card out and then steal something and link it away for a Link Rebo. You know, the standard play. 1 copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is really easy to summon out with instant, or not instant fusion, but Super Poly. I just use like instant fusion, summon this, and then do Super Poly, steal my opponent's other monster. You end up stealing 2 of your opponent's monsters, and then target a card they control that's special summon from the extra deck if you don't steal that, and increase this card's attack by it, which is really, really cool. And then if it's destroyed, I'll like blow the whole field up. You can draw special summon monsters on the field, which is, or your opponent controls, which is really, really awesome. It's a really good card and underrated. So 1 Boral Load and 1 Boral Sword. I don't make these all that much, but they're kind of here. Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus, just to bounce stuff, pop spells and traps, and to pop monsters. Wee Witch's Apprentice, I make this kind of often because it increases my Relinquished attacks. 2 copies of Link Rebo. Link Rebo is what I make the most, and you need 2 of it. And then 1 copy of Break Sword. I just kind of threw this in because I can summon the Orthoscorpio and the Darling Cobra and make Break Sword if I need to. But that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I really enjoy this one. I know you guys can tell with that impression, but this deck is super fun. You won't win a whole lot, but God, you'll have a lot of fun doing it. And when you do win, it is super satisfying because I literally took your arm and beat you with it, with Relinquished. So, anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys. DarkArmedDuelist out.